Hello, Derek Bergener here. It's November 5th, 2017, and the subject for this video is an area that I've identified that I think I have the biggest struggle with, and this is something I really like to fix. So I'm not going to be able to necessarily say what the fix is. I'm going to just show you how I get messed up and some solutions I'm going to try to implement to fix it. So the idea here is making a trade plan from a watch list. Actually, the title is a lot longer than that, but you'll get the idea in a minute here. So the basic steps are, we make a watch list every night. We generate a list of stocks that look like they might make some good moves the next day. Then we make a trade plan for each stock. Then we are supposed to trade the plan, right? And that's where it all falls apart for me. And the question is why? This is what I struggle with every day. Why? I know this is my biggest number one problem. There is a total disconnect at step 3 as soon as the market opens. My top picks for the day rarely do what I had planned. Then I either mess it up, or I actually have no trade at all because it didn't do my plan, and well, now what? Or then it's gone. But then after that, I'm not going to sit there and twiddle my thumbs. I'm gotta go look for something. When my picks aren't working, I switch to other stocks that I may not have a plan for, and you have to improvise along the way, and then things become more difficult. So the solution: make more than one plan for each stock on the watch list that I intend to trade. I think that's where, most of the time I only have one plan, and if it doesn't do what my plan is doing, then I get all messed up. It doesn't mean there's no trade. It just means I had the wrong plan, or I had a limitation of only one plan. So, you might say, well, that's a lot of planning. So the idea, you got to definitely narrow it down to maybe 2 to 4 stocks, and maybe trade only those few for a few days. So you kind of get to learn how they behave, and that may help. The key here, I think this step number 3 is probably the biggest key, I think. Envision 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 possible things. Probably 2 to 3, But let's say envision 2 or 3. Probably don't need 5 things. 2 or 3 possible things it could do that day. And then also watch the pre-market price action to get clues as to which plan might work. And you may have to, based on those clues, make some adjustments to your plan, and you'll see that in my example for NBIX. So in Shop, this is one where I made a plan, and I was just totally wrong, and I traded it according to my plan, and my plan was just all wrong. And then NBIX, I had no trade at all because I needed to make an adjustment. And you'll see Pat made an adjustment on that one. He basically had the same plan that I did, and he made an adjustment and made a great trade. I made no trade. So anyway, let's go in and look at Shop. Here is I'm picking an example from. This is, look in the upper left-hand corner there. If I let go, it goes away. See the upper left? There's the date, Wednesday, the 2nd, and so this is my scan. This is one of my picks to trade the next day. So the trade I'm going to discuss is actually going to be on November 2nd. Same with NBIX. So this is November 1 nightly scan. Now NBX was actually a gapper, so you don't even know that's going to happen. So the plan for that developed in the morning during the pre-market plan of attack. And so on Shop, my thoughts here were, let's just show you, I use Snagit a lot for not necessarily drawing for my pre-market plans, but maybe I should. Let's grab, because there's a lot more freedom to draw and snag it than in TC2000, and I'll show you show you some of those tools. Like the lines are like super easy, right? Everything's just a lot easier. It's a drawing tool. So here with shop, I was thinking, okay, we've got a down day or a downtrend. We've got a downtrend. It's coming up, and it's definitely dropped back down. And then so my thought was a third continuation day to like 90. So I'm looking for like a pop in the morning, up to some price level maybe, and then fade off to the 90 level. That was my plan. So I'm looking for short entries. And so here on the right hand side, this is the 5-minute chart. I can't go to the 1 minute because here in TC2000 it doesn't go back that far. But well, I'm skipping ahead. So this is what I could see the night before, and again, here's the last 2 days. So here's the last 2 days. I'm like, there's the high, and then I'm like, okay, look at this. The thing held under VWAP the whole day. That's like weak. That's a weak stock. So I'm thinking, okay, man, this thing is like, oh wait, I was off screen. Fit screen. Okay. So anyway, it held under VWAP all day. It popped up and basically rejected VWAP, and I'm like, this thing is likely to head down more. So that was my trade plan. That was my one and only trade plan for that. And so what I ended up doing was looking for short opportunities, and of course there weren't any, because it turned out to be a nice big run to the upside. Here's Dash Trader. Now this is actually live charts right here. I could go back far enough. This is the 1 minute. Here is November 2nd. There's the open. Actually, let me take another snag it of this so I don't lose. If I start scrolling around everywhere, I'm going to like lose track on the charts. So now I got my snag it here. And look right here, right? We have like a perfect opening range. This thing dipped down to 95. You can see here. And in my plan, in my mind, I'm looking for a short setup. So when this thing popped up and holding here, I went short. I went short right in this area. Now, of course, now, you don't see any of this. Oh, let's see. In Dash Trader. No, where? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here's in TC2000. Yeah, okay, I can skip ahead. Okay, there's the first candle, first 5-minute candle there on the right. And I'm like, okay, it's going to pop up and hit this, this like resistance right here, or might pop up and hit this resistance right here, and that's where I'm looking for my short to make my plan work, right? Because I'm thinking this thing's dumping to 90. It's going to keep on the downtrend. And we go one more 5-minute candle there. Well, what you don't see in that 5-minute candle is here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's that first 5-minute candle. And I don't know. I kept shorting on the way up here. Like right here, this right here, when I only saw this right there, or this peak right here, I mean, I was just blind to the fact that this thing could do something else. And in fact, it was on a momentum run to the upside. And after the fact, I did a really nice post-day analysis. I botched it so bad, but this is the right way to trade it. Look, you have an opening range breakout here. You have a flag. Here, a nice flag back to the 9 EMA, another flag to the 9 EMA, another flag to the 9 EMA. I mean, this is just a freaking momentum freight train going up. Went all the way up to 100. And then there was your perfect short opportunity right there. When it came back under 100, it failed, and then this broke this little trend line, and boom, goes short there down to VWAP. That was the correct play, but I didn't see it. I was like blinded because my trade plan was based on here going down. Now, what kind of trade plan could I have made? Look at this level right here. Or wait, what we need to do is go back right there. That's all I would have seen. Look at this right here. There's a 95, and oh, there's a 95 right here. And if I would have drawn a line right through the 95, an alternate trade plan that I should have done was, look, this every time this thing like hammered down to 95 and just bounced hard, and it just went down to 95 and bounced back up again and then went down. Now, what if, alternate trade plan, what if it goes down to 95 and bounces? Could it potentially go back up to 100? Well, that would have been like a really cool alternate trade plan for me to have in mind. So instead of being like, let's go back, instead of, where was it? Right here. Instead of me being stuck on this trade plan here, draw my line here at 95, and then draw some alternate arrows like, okay, what if it like drops to 95 and then maybe, bounces up to 100. There's an alternate trade plan. So I needed to have both of those in mind. And if I did, then, shoot, well, who knows? I hopefully would have been like done a pretty good trade on that. And so the other example is, I hope I'm not jumping around too much, but I'm just showing you all the different tools that I like to use. So NBIX, all right, here's the other example where you may or may not have had a nightly plan on this. This one showed up on the gap scan because, let's see, in Dash Trader, I think I was able to go back. Well, here's the night before. So that's post-market. Okay, so the gap happened already post-market, right? So that's what it was. And there must have been maybe earnings after market or something. I forget what the news was. Must have been earnings or something. And so popped up to 75. And so because of that, and then here is the, keep going here. Here's the pre-market. So by 9, there's the bell. So by like 9:30 right here on the right-hand side, we can see that I think the plan, the pre-market plan was to, let's see, I think I still have it in here. Yeah. Here. The pre-market plan was wait for a pop to, let's go advance here. Yeah, the pre-market plan was wait for it to run up to 75 and then short at 75. Well, it never got to 75. And we can see, well, at the open it didn't. It never ran up to 75. That was the, see, it just didn't do it. So, so I ended up with no trade on that. But here's how you would adjust the plan. If the pre-market plan was for this thing to go up to, let's see, go up to 75, horizontal line right here. I'm in my actual trading platform. That was the plan, up to 75. Well, look what happened in pre-market. You see this? See, I never noticed this. You see this right here? And then, so it came down to 72.50, and then it broke 72.50, and then right here, see these three candles, 1, 2, 3, before the market opened, and 72 became new resistance. So after that pre-market drop there, what's the reality of this thing running back to 75? I have to like adjust the plan. Like, oh, it may only get to 72. Let's look for a pop to 72. Well, I never did that. I was like waiting for this to pop to 75 and then I'll go short. Well, never happened, and I had no trade. So that's another area that happens to me. And Pat did a trade recap on this one. He said, let's zoom in on the on this 1 minute candle right here at the open. Right here, he said right in this area this thing was popping up and down. Well, I wasn't even worried about watching the open. I was waiting till it ran up to 75, and then I was going to go short. Well, he recognized that this 72 was basically the new level. That was the new adjusted plan, and it jiggled around in this area at the open, and he's seen that before and knew that that was a sign that it's not happy right there and likely going to reject. So he went short and wrote it down for I don't know where he got in, 71.75, maybe down to 68.75. There's 3 points, 3 points washout at the open. So that's, but I had no trade. I remember typing in chat, I had no trade. I was waiting for it to go to 75. He's in and out, done in 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So anyway, that's the two examples that I have. Hopefully that helps to give some ideas for you to make alternate plans, make 2 or 3 different plans, or realize that the plan for NBIX was a short, but the adjustment was, okay, it's never going to get to 75 because it was already failing. It already failed. It already failed 72.50 and already had failed 72. So maybe now 72 is the new area to short. And then with like I said, with shop, up here. There's like that's a perfect ORB right there. Like how much more beautiful of an ORB do you need? And then a flag and a flag and a pullback to the 9 EMA, another pullback to the 9 EMA. This is like a long city. So have alternate plans. That way, maybe if you make a long plan and a short plan, that will help to maybe not have a bias. Like I had a total short bias on shop, totally, and it completely messed it up for me. So anyway, hopefully that is some good information to think about, and I'm going to do my watch list for tonight for Monday morning and try to implement some of this. Thanks. Have a good night.